dog, a cat, and a bear.
That's fine. You can do whatever you want.
In Greek language, euthanasia means good death. And my question is, when should death mean anything else? When has death been about prolonging and holding on for as long as possible until you are allowed to die? Perhaps more importantly, who has the right to tell you when or when you cannot die? I hope to convince a few of you that euthanasia, or physician-assisted suicide, should be legalized. Studies show that majority of people actually agree that it should be legalized, yet the only states that it is legal in is in Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. And Montana has legalized it via court ruling. Through research and personal experience, I hope to show you that legalizing euthanasia, or physician-assisted suicide, would be good for all the states of this country. I'm going to start by sharing a personal experience of mine from watching a loved one suffer. As you all have learned from previous speeches, my mom passed away from breast cancer and eventually moved to her liver, which is what ultimately killed her. Since the cancer was in her liver, she couldn't filter out a lot of the toxins that were put in her body, but they still had to feed her a lot of medication to ease her pain. And the doctors told us, that the medication was killing her, it was poisoning her. But yet this is the only thing they could do to keep her comfortable. So my family watched as the medication and the cancer took over her. And by then, her whole body was just yellow, her eyes were yellow. She was just filled with toxins. Our last memories of her were not of peace and acceptance, but instead we just watched her suffer, and she no longer even seemed human to us. We watched as she struggled to get out of bed, feed herself, and even try and speak, which then she could no longer do. To this day, I cannot understand how doctors can poison a patient, but yet they can't just give them a little morphine to put them out of their misery, but instead they force them to just suffer up until the last minute. Even though this is a specific example to me, there's still a lot of people who have dealt with watching a loved one suffer. As I mentioned before, many people support physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia. USA Today wrote, majority of Americans, 56%, believe that doctors should be allowed to assist a terminally ill patient to die. And it is an open secret that many actually do through morphine, a lethal dose of morphine. Yet more than 30 states still explicitly criminalize it, physician-assisted suicide, and right-to-live groups maintain a vocal opposition. Yet with over half of the population supporting it, it's still not enough to legalize it. The big reason for it is our nation's Christian beliefs, that life is a gift from God, and you should not take that. My rebuttal to that is that we have made so many medical advances that we suspend death, and it has become more about prolonging it than quality of life. Our goal is no longer about, like I said, quality, but it's about quantity. By doing this, we've taken the fate out of God's hands and into our hands. We no longer leave it up to Him. In this time of prolonging need, we need to make decisions when enough is enough. Our beliefs should be put aside when it comes to quality of life for the suffering. The Los Angeles Times wrote, these intensely personal and socially expensive decisions should not be left to governments, judges, or legislators better attuned to highway funding. The government has no right to tell us how long we have to suffer for. Another debate someone has against physician-assisted suicide is palliative care exists to keep them at peace and in comfort. To this, I say, truly compassionate end-of-life care is giving people an option of how to end their life, and to end it with dignity. Imagine being in pain and being ready to end the battle, but you're told that you have to continue. What is end-of-life care if you have no control of it? Lots of people who are near the end of life don't want loved ones' last memory of them to be of suffering, sorrow, and just helplessness. Keith Wilson conducted a study where he took 379 patients who had cancer in palliative care. Of those, 238 believe that either euthanasia or physician-assisted suicide should be legalized. 99 were against it, 42 were uncertain. Coming from the patients who supported it, he quoted, "These respondents believe that terminally ill individuals have the right to make autonomous choices regarding the circumstances and timing of their deaths. They also emphasize the significance of physical and mental suffering as a justification for physician-hastened death, particularly in a context of perceived futility for continued existence in the face of a lingering terminal illness. We should be listening to these people who are suffering, not the government." Today I discussed a few reasons why physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia should be legalized. Seeing my mom suffer and slowly pass away, having the option to take fate into our own hands, and giving the most compassionate form of palliative care are all the main reasons. Bottom line is that we have no right to tell someone when and when they cannot die. The power to end our own suffering when death is near should be in our own